Well, greetings and salutations. My name is Deanna Marie, and thank you for stopping by on my YouTube channel. This is my third video, and I am just really learning how all this works, but it's so much fun. It really is fun. So I thought, the other two videos that I put up recently had to do with my home buying experience. And I recently had a home built from the ground up. And it has been an absolutely wonderful experience. The home builder, in every respect, was absolutely wonderful. So my experience has been a good one. But I wanted to share with you some things that you may want to consider when you get ready to build your new home or just buy a house. Let's talk about that. Okay, so what they're initially going to ask you for are going to be your two most recent bank statements, your two most recent pay stubs, your two most recent W 2s, your two most recent tax returns. And they're going to verify this information. They're going to make sure of your employment. So throughout the process, there are going to be a couple of what are called hard credit report pulls. These do affect your credit, but worry not, it's not going to make that big of a difference. So, once they get all of your information, they're then going to be preparing documentations and things like that based upon the property that you selected. So let me backtrack here just a moment. So before you even find a property, before you even begin to look, the best thing to do is to get approved because that gives you so much more strength in your offer than someone that comes to the seller that has to get approval. It just, especially if that seller is in a time crunch, you're more apt to be able to negotiate much better because they know that you got this sitting back here and all you got to do is find a property. So if it's not their property, it'll be somebody else's. So you are pretty much a sure thing. Okay, so getting approved is a great thing. So now that we've given them all of our documentations, they're going to be giving us documentation and papers and things like that. One of the first things they're going to give you is called a loan estimate. That basically is going to list out all the numbers, the amount of the loan, the various fees and things like that, what they're anticipating for you to bring to the table. So when I say bring to the table, it's the cash that you bring to the table, and not literally cash, but they will provide you with wiring instructions and whatever they need you to do in order to bring those funds to closing. My choice was to basically get a certified cashier's check from my bank, and that ensured the closing agent that the funds were good and all that. So it took another day or so for it to actually close, but I still closed by the end of the year. So I was actually in my home on January 1st of 2020. Started a whole new decade in a whole new house. It was a great thing. So, so when you are deciding on the amount of the loan that you want, I want you to think more about the entire cost and not just the price of the home, because you're going to have various fees that you're going to have to pay. You got your closing cost fees, which could include things such as the appraisal fee, your taxes, your insurance, document fees, fax fees, courier fees, just homeowner association fees. They can contain a lot of various costs and fees. So you need to be aware of what those fees are, and you can dispute them. When I purchased my first home, at that time we were using HUD ones, okay, and they had listed on there that there was a courier fee and there was a fax fee. Well, what did you courier? Who did you fax stuff to? I need some proof. Well, they hadn't. And even though it was about a $70 savings, it's still $70 that I didn't have to spend. So you have to be aware of the various fees that they're going to be charging you. And they by law, they are going to make them known to you. And if any changes happen, then they're going to make those different cost changes known to you. I mean, they have to. So you don't have to worry about that. So now that you have been approved and you selected your home, they're going to calculate a principal and interest payment for you along with your tax and insurance payment. So your principal and interest payment is going to, depending upon the type of loan that you get, if you get a fixed rate loan, then that interest rate is not going to fluctuate. Now, that doesn't mean your payment is not going to change, because your payment will change. And it's going to change based upon your tax and insurance. And your tax and insurance is going to increase on an annual basis. 9 times out of 10, it's going to. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to be required to have an escrow. So you can talk to your lender about all that. I'm not trying to get into any specifics, but just these are just some of the things that you will want to be aware of. So now you know they've calculated the payment. You know what your payment is. Now, if you are purchasing an existing property, then your payment is probably going to be exactly what they're giving you, and it will be that way. Other than those given changes for your tax and insurance. Because my property is a new build, my taxes were calculated on unimproved land or unimproved property. So I'm going to see a significant increase in my payment this coming year because I'm going to be taxed on improved property. Now, I was aware of that, and that's what I'm saying is that you have to be aware. Don't let these kind of things surprise you, because many people have lost their homes, new homes, because they weren't prepared for these things. So the way I'm preparing for it, and I suggest that you consider doing the same for your home, your home loan, is throwing additional money toward my escrow account. So that's what I'm doing. I'm throwing extra funds toward my extra escrow account. And then to reduce the time that you pay on your loan, you can throw additional money, to the principal. So even if you throw, like $100 a month, that's $1,200 off the principal. And it just kind of shortens the length of time that you'll be paying on that loan, which means, of course, you will be shortening the amount of interest that you'd be paying on the loan as well. Okay, so now that we know what our payment is, so basically we're at the end now. We're at the end, and so we've made sure that we did not buy anything new. We made sure that we didn't make any additional purchases, and there weren't any funds that were taken out of our account or put to our account, any large sums that we cannot explain, because they're going to ask you for a letter for that. They're going to want for you to explain any large deposits or withdrawals. You're going to have to explain that. So now everything's cool. We're ready to move. So we've got the movers, that we're going to have to hire. Well, I did. You might, I'm old. You might have, you might have young friends that can help you move, but all my friends are old people. So we're not trying to move stuff. So I had that expense. I had that moving expense. So you may have that. And then, of course, you've got the maintenance. So you have to consider the maintenance that you're going to be putting into your property, because now this is your home. This is your home. This is where you should take so much pride in. Take the pride inside your house as well as outside. Part of my home inspection or the walkthrough with the builder was they walked me all through the house. I mean, every crack, every crevice. We had blue tape everywhere. So, and they actually told me how everything works. how to make sure everything works. So it was a wonderful experience. And then going up to the attic, that wasn't a place I wanted to go. But my God, it's so cool up there. So my water heater and all that stuff is up in the attic. And so I have to go up there every so often to change the air conditioner filter, to pour bleach down some tube in the water heater. I mean, there are things that we have to do now that we have a home, so we have to maintain it. So those are additional costs that you need to consider. And if you're living in a subdivision that has a homeowner association, you have to consider, not now, probably when you close, like they did for me, because I did post most of my things to the builder. That was paid through the builder, but next year, then I'm going to be paying that amount out of pocket. Now, fortunately for us, we don't have any common areas or anything like that, so it's minimal. It is absolutely minimal, but you have to consider those kind of things too. By you being in a subdivision with a homeowner association, you're going to be subject to certain rules and regulations and bylaws and all that good stuff. So there's a lot to consider when you are looking at a home. I mean, even if you are not in a subdivision that has a homeowner association, I mean, as a property owner, you still want your neighbors to keep their property up, right? You still want them to, keep their lawn mowed and, all those things that responsible property owners do. So take pride in what is yours. So that really is about it. I just wanted to kind of, talk about those things that you would want to consider when you're, purchasing a home, and just kind of share, those are the things that I did and when I was buying my home, and how much fun it has been to do this. My God, it has been absolutely just, it's been wonderful. And so it's been 5 months. I've been here 5 months, and I pretty much have everything together, pretty much. Um, some of my friends have asked for a home tour, but I'm not there yet. I'm not sure about that yet. So we'll see. We'll see how that all works. So thank you guys so much for just taking the time to come by and check in with me and see how things are going. Now, I don't know what my next video is going to be. Like I said, I wrote down one of the things they tell you when I've done all my research on starting this YouTube channel. They tell you, write down 100 different topics to talk about and all that kind of thing. And, I've kind of done that. But I did that before, our current situation. And so now it's about what can I bring to you guys that is of value. And I hope that I can do that. So let's just see. Let's just see what happens. Let's see how it goes. Let's see what happens. So, but thank you again for taking your time to stop by and, you know, just hang out. I appreciate it. So take care. Good night. Good morning. Good evening. Goodbye.